All right. Okay. Thank you, Maria Eugenia. Good afternoon. Morning here in Chicago. I'm Vanita Misquita, and I'm in charge of students from Europe and Latin America interested in studying at Illinois Tech, Illinois Institute of Technology. So I will present briefly information about the university and the types of programs we have based on the collaboration between Illinois Tech and your school Camins at UPC. If you need to contact me in the future or later, if you have questions regarding Illinois Tech, my email address is here below, europe@iit.edu. The picture you see in the background is the picture of the Illinois Tech campus. We are located in the south side of Chicago. All these buildings here you see, if you see the arrows here, my cursor, this is the campus of Illinois Tech. We also, on the right-hand side, you'll see the metro's rail. We have 2 metro stations on campus that take you to the downtown area in about 7 minutes. So we are really in the city of Chicago on the south side. This tube you see on the right-hand side is a tube that was designed by a famous architect, a Dutch architect, Rem Koolhaas. It was an international competition to figure out how to muffle the noise of the train when it passed overhead, because below is this IIT Illinois Tech Student Center. And in the past, when students would talk inside this building, they had to stop talking, wait for the train to pass, then start talking again, then so on and so forth, because it was very noisy. So the Rem Koolhaas came up with the idea to muffle the part of the rail line that spanned the length of the student center. So now students can talk without having to stop talking when the train passes. And on the right-hand side, these are the residence halls for students if they want to live on campus. So we are in the city of Chicago, next to one of the 5 Great Lakes, Lake Michigan. It's about a 20-minute walk from our campus to the lake. In terms of some statistics about Chicago, it is the 3rd largest city in the United States after New York and Los Angeles, in that order. It is also a city of skyscrapers. In fact, the first skyscraper in the world was built in Chicago. Many of the skyscrapers were also designed and developed by some of the professors and students and their students from our College of Architecture at Illinois Tech. We have 35 miles of lakefront. We don't use the metric system. Chicago is also one of the greenest cities in the United States. We have many parks and museums, lots of restaurants, although now with COVID, most of the restaurants are closed. They're just doing outdoor dining or takeaway. And Chicago is also known as #1 in manufacturing in the US and in nanotechnology. Here are some photographs of the campus. People, when they hear the name Chicago, they tend to think that it's very cold all the time. It gets very cold in winter, but it's not cold all of the time. We do have 4 seasons. Right now, it is the autumn season, fall season. And as I showed you earlier in the first picture, this is the rail line, and this is the tube that was designed by Rem Koolhaas. And below, you see the student center. We also have snow. We can have very harsh winters. Temperatures can go below -Celsius. However, students get accustomed to the snow, and we also have a very pleasant spring and summer. In the summer, it can get up to 35 degrees Celsius and can be quite humid. So this is also a picture of the campus. When you're looking at a university in the United States, you may find that there are many different colleges and have different names, etc., and it can be confusing. What you need to focus on are the departments within a certain college, because the departments offer the different degree programs. So the departments would correspond to a school. For example, at Illinois Tech, under the Armour College of Engineering, we have all different departments of engineering. For example, the Department of Civil, Architectural, and Environmental Engineering. So that department corresponds to your school, Camins, okay? And it offers many different master degree programs, master's and PhD degree programs. So each department has its own different degree program. So it corresponds to a school at UPC. So for Camins students, you need to look at the Department of Civil, Architectural, and Environmental Engineering. For electrical students from Teleco, they should look at the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, or maybe Department of Biomedical Engineering, or perhaps the Department of Computer Science, which is under the College of Computing. For the students from Industrialis, they should look at the Department of Industrial Technology and Management, which is also under the College of Computing. For those interested in applied mathematics, they should look at the Department of Applied Mathematics under the Lewis College of Science and Letters. If any of you students are interested in any business degree like Masters of Science in Finance or Masters of Science in Environmental Management, all business degrees are offered by the Stewart School of Business. So here are some pictures of some of our labs, and I will try to explain the difference between the US credit hour and the ECTS system. A US credit hour means one contact hour with a professor per week. On average, one course is equivalent to 3 credit hours. This means that you will have 3 hours of contact per week attending a lecture on that course by a professor, offered by a professor. So our master degree programs are usually 30 credit hours, 32 or 33 credit hours. The difference in the number of credit hours depends on the different types of master degree programs. There is no prestige if you take a 33 credit hour master's versus a 30 credit hour master's. All the types of master degree programs are accredited and accepted by companies if you want to look for a job, and also by other universities if you want to continue for further studies like for a PhD or doctoral degree. All you need to remember is that 1 US credit is equivalent to 2 ECTS credits. So, for example, if you go to the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering and you choose the Master of Electrical Engineering, which is 30 credit hours, then 30 credit hours is equivalent to 60 ECTS. You can choose any master degree programs, any of the master degree programs offered within that department, as long as your school at UPC approves it. So it's important that your school approve the program you choose to take or pursue at Illinois Tech. Why study at Illinois Tech? For example, in Chicago, we have many reputable universities. You may know of University of Chicago, you may know of Northwestern University, you may have heard of Loyola University, and so on. However, Illinois Tech is the only tech-focused university in Chicago. We also work closely with two world-famous laboratories. One is the Argonne National Laboratory, which is located 45 minutes outside of Chicago by car. This is a laboratory owned by the United States federal government, so you have world-famous researchers working in this laboratory. And Fermilab, also 45 minutes by car outside of Chicago in the other direction, is the second largest laboratory in the world in particle physics after CERN in Switzerland. The reason I mention these two laboratories is because some of our professors are part of some research teams at both of these laboratories. And so students who work on research with these professors have the opportunity to also work in the research team at these different research teams at these laboratories. The third reason that you may be interested in studying at Illinois Tech is that we are one of the first universities that developed a double degree program with schools in Europe. The first one was with the Grande École in France, NCA, and then we expanded to Grenoble in France, and then later on to UPM, UPC, and many schools in Spain. I will explain how the double degree works. Simply put, the double degree means you'll get 2 degrees in 1 year. You'll get 1 degree from Illinois Tech and the degree from your school at UPC. The way it works is that if you're on a 2-year master degree program, you'll complete the first year of your master's at UPC. Then you have to be pre-selected by UPC to study at Illinois Tech. You have to apply to Illinois Tech, qualify for admission, and if you're admitted, you will pursue our 1-year master's at Illinois Tech, which will include your research project, which you call the Trabajo Fin de Masters. So for example, if you're currently completing your master's, first-year master's at UPC, and you'll finish it by June of 2021. If you're interested in coming to Illinois Tech, and if you're accepted, you will start the master's degree at Illinois Tech in August 2021, and you will finish your degree by August 2022. By August 2022, you will receive the Illinois Tech master's degree, and then UPC, your school at UPC, will validate your degree at Illinois Tech and will award you their equivalent degree. So that's how it works, 2 degrees in 1 year. Also, when you decide to come on the double degree program, all international students who do not have a US passport, or if you don't have a US green card, permanent residency, you will come on what is called an F1 student visa. I mention it here below, F1 student visa. This visa is for you to study and receive a degree at any US university. It can be a bachelor's, master's, doctorate degree. And after you receive your degree, so based on the example I just gave, if you finish your degree by August 2022, under this visa, you're allowed to work for 1 additional year, 12 months, in your field of study, anywhere in the United States. So what do I mean by field of study? For example, if you've decided to pursue a master's in power engineering, that's your field of study. So you need to find a job in any company in the US where you can work in your field of power engineering. So you can work for 1 full year after you graduate. The average starting salary is about $65,000 For electrical, computer engineering, computer science, it is much higher. For civil engineering, it may be 56, 58,000. Mechanical engineering, about the same. So, but the average is about $65,000 a year. Okay, the median salary on average is $71,000 a year. I mentioned here that the word STEM. With this visa, F1 visa, you're allowed to work for 1 year after you graduate. It's called Optional Practical Training, OPT. If your field of study falls under the STEM category, that's science, technology, engineering, or mathematics, then you're allowed to work for 2 years in addition. So all in all, if your field is within the STEM category, that's either science, technology, engineering, or math, you can work for up to 3 years in your field of study. So for many of our Spanish and French students who have pursued the double degree, if they've taken out bank loans from their banks in Spain to fund their studies, they have been able to reimburse their loan or pay off their loan within 1 to 1.5 years of work in the United States. So that also provides further attraction for the double degree program. Illinois Tech is also a member of the Association of Independent Technological Universities, AITU. Illinois Tech was among the first 15 founding members, and right now there are 23 colleges and universities in the States that are part of the AITU. They are all private universities. Private universities in the States are very selective. All private universities in the States are usually selective, which means it is very difficult to get admitted into most private or all private universities in the States. Public universities in the States, not all of them are selective. Some are selective, some are not selective. So, but private universities are usually selective, and so they're smaller in size. Other private universities that are members of this association are MIT. You've heard of MIT. It's a private university. Caltech is private, Carnegie Mellon, and so on. Some statistics about the student population at Illinois Tech. We are, in the US sense, a small university. We have about 6,400 students in total. We have a few more students at the graduate level. Graduate means master's and PhD. So if you decide to come for a master's degree to Illinois Tech, your level category is graduate. Undergraduate means bachelor's. Ranking and recognition, we were ranked number 5 for our Masters of Science in Finance by the Financial Times. And we also have a law school ranked number 1 for our intellectual property law. And by Forbes, we were ranked among the top 25 STEM colleges in 2018. Who are some of our alumni? That means students who have graduated. If you're using, or all of you have cell phones, I presume, the first cell phone was invented by a student from Illinois Tech. His name is Martin Cooper. We call him Marty Cooper. He received his bachelor's and master's degree from Illinois Tech in electrical engineering and made the first phone call in 72-73. The first cell phone that he invented weighed more than a kilo. And you see the progression in size of the cell phone over time. If some of you use Alexa, the head scientist behind Alexa is a student from Illinois Tech, Rohit Prasad. He graduated from Illinois Tech with a master's degree in electrical engineering. Other notable alumni are Ed Kaplan, who was considered to be a pioneer in barcode technology, the barcode printer. Susan Solomon, who discovered the chlorofluorocarbons that were destroying the ozone layer. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, who was a member of the team that developed the Pentium chip, for example. And if you've heard of Linksys, another student from Illinois Tech, Victor Sauer, who received his master's in computer science, was a co-founder of Linksys. And here are some other alumni, like Andrea Berry and Gloria Ray Kalmark, who was part of the Little Rock Nine, who stood up against segregation in the Arkansas schools. She's also a computer scientist. A campus life, most universities in the US have on-campus housing, we refer to as residence halls. So you may decide if you wish to live in any one of our residence halls. You're not forced to live in our residence halls. You can choose to live in an apartment in the city of Chicago, or you may choose to live in our residence halls, and we have 5 of them. The most recently renovated residence hall is George Kasich Hall, and here's a picture of what a room looks like for a student. Okay. And here's another example. And all of the residence halls, I should say, all of the residence halls have a lounge, an area where students can, what we refer to as chilling out or just relax and integrate or mix with other students. Although with COVID-19 right now, we have to respect social distancing and all of the protocols required with COVID. The room rates on campus, we are currently in August 2020 to in May 2021 academic year. So I've provided you with the cost, the range for a room. You can choose whether you want a single room or to share a room with another student. And this varies from $7,600 to $15,000 for the academic year. The academic year is 9 months. Board meal rates, you can choose your own meal plan, whether you want to have meals 3 times a day, 7 days a week, or once a day, 5 days a week. It's up to you. So the cost ranges varies from $1,600 to $6,900 for the year. Athletics, we are not a sports school. That means we do not play competitively with other teams at other universities. However, we do offer sports where you can play locally with other school teams locally. Our mascot is the Scarlet Hawks, and for men, we have baseball, basketball, etc. And also for women, soccer is what you refer to as football. Okay. American football is very different, and we do not have American football. We have soccer. Here's a picture of the student center that you saw the outside of earlier, and the tube that covered part of the rail lines. This is the under part of the tube. And again, the student center is for students. You have baby foot, you have pool tables, you have a radio station, you have the post office, the cafeteria is downstairs, and then there are computer terminals available for students 24/7. You have breakout rooms if you want to study in teams, or if you want to have conferences, etc. And also there are auditoriums where you can give presentations. So this building is entirely for students. Our partners in Spain comprise Politécnica de Madrid and all these schools within Politécnica de Madrid, Politécnica Your School, all these schools within Politécnica de Catalunya, Politécnica de Valencia, Seville, Comillas, and the School of Engineering at the Universidad del País Vasco. I've provided here the list of departments that you may be interested in. So, for example, If you're interested in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, you would click on this link, go to Programs, click on Graduate, and then you will find Master Programs, and you will find all the master degree programs that you can choose from. Whichever master's degree program you choose, it must be approved by your school, okay? Because you don't want to duplicate the year. You want to finish everything in 1 year. Similarly, if you're interested in information technology and management, they have the Masters of Information Technology and Management. Again, go to Programs, Graduate, and Master Programs. Mechanical Engineering, Civil Engineering, Biomedical, and so on. Academics, the academic calendar. Fall semester begins, next year will begin in August, on August 23rd. Our spring semester will start next January, and January 19th. Our deadlines, first you have to be pre-selected by UPC. Then I will send you information about our application process, and you have to complete our application if you want to come next August by April 15th. Okay. The double degree program, the procedure, just to summarize, if you're on a 2-year program, you first have to be pre-selected by UPC, and you have to show proof of English proficiency. Either take the Toefl and have a score of 90, or pass the IELTS score of 6.5. And because of COVID, we are now accepting the Duolingo. We need a score of 110. These are the only 3 exams that we will accept. We will not accept any Cambridge certificate exams. When you would take or pass these exams, at the moment of registration, make sure to request for your official score to be sent directly to Illinois Tech if you're thinking of applying to Illinois Tech. You may not be sure, but if you're thinking, why I say this is, for example, when you decide to take the Toefl, at the time of registration, if you decide to send your score to any university you wish to apply to later on, it's free. If you do it after the fact, you'll have to pay for your official score to be sent. So it is best to get it done when you register. We do not accept the Toefl Home Edition. So if you're wondering whether we accept the home edition of the Toefl, the answer is no. You have to take the Toefl IBT or IELTS 6.5 and get a score of 6.5, or the Duolingo. The good news is, because of COVID, we have waived the GRE General. Usually we require the GRE General exam, which costs about $250, I think, dollars. So we have waived it for any student who's been pre-selected by UPC and who wants to apply to Illinois Tech for any of our master's programs starting next fall. So again, for fall 2021 applicants, the GRE General is waived. That means you don't have to take it for any of our master degree programs. This only applies to students who want to come to Illinois Tech next August 2021. Here are our deadlines, and Illinois Tech makes the final decision. I've decided to give you a graphic representation of what it looks like for the double degree program, in case you still are not quite sure. First year at UPC, second year at Illinois Tech, you pursue a master's degree. In 1 year, you get the Illinois Tech master's degree, and your school will validate it, and you will receive the equivalent UPC master's degree. Okay. For those schools at UPC that have only a 1-year master's, it may not apply to some of your schools, so don't listen to this part if it doesn't apply to your school, so that you don't get confused. If your school offers a one-year master's and you wish to have the experience of a master's degree from another university like Illinois Tech, you can add 1 year. So you will receive your master's diploma equivalent from UPC and add another year and come to Illinois Tech and get a master's. So you won't get the 2 degrees at the same time, you'll get them at different times. Again, you have to be pre-selected by your school. If you're on a 1-year master's program, and if you're interested in this 1+1 program, you can ask questions at the end of this, my presentation. Okay. So I've described again, the requirements are the same. You still have to have the Toefl. The GRE will be waived. So what's the difference, comparison or differences? What are the differences between the 2 programs? If you complete a 1-year master's at UPC, you add another year at Illinois Tech, you will not get any course transfer credit. Okay, so you're adding another year at an extra cost. For those who come on the double degree, they are not adding another year. Okay, and they are eligible for the 2 course transfer credit. In both types of master's degree, you can complete your trabajo fin de master's with your master's at Illinois Tech. Both types of degrees, you'll come on an F1 student visa, which means you're eligible to work afterwards. Both types, you will receive 2 degrees, although at different times. And in both types of degrees, you may be eligible for a partner scholarship of 9 credit hours. For those who are interested in biology, physics, and chemistry, we've had students from Teleco in the past who've decided to pursue a master's in physics, and now they're continuing with a PhD in physics. So, in fact, one student from UPM from Teleco is working on a quantum computer for his PhD. So these are possibilities. So don't necessarily restrict yourself if you're from Teleco just to telecommunications. If your school approves that you can pursue a master's in physics, that's fine by us, but your school has to approve it. Okay? Similarly, if you're interested in biology and other fields. I don't know if there's students from FME, from the School of Applied Statistics. I've covered some information, but if there are students, I will refer to it later on. So tuition and fees, the current cost for the year for any master's degree in engineering, science, and technology, the cost per credit hour based on this year is $1,640. And fees are the mandatory and other fees, which are always additional, like the use of the labs, the library, all the services the university provides for you. UPass is the use of the metro, the local metro and the bus, unlimited and per semester. So, for example, based on the current cost, if you pursue a 32 credit hour master's, okay, maybe it could be in electrical engineering, it could be in civil engineering, it could be in any field of study. The current cost is about $51,000, but fortunately, you do not pay that $51,000. Why? If you're pre-selected by UPC, if you qualify for admission, that means if you're admitted to Illinois Tech, we will give you a scholarship of 9 credit hours. So that reduces your cost. Secondly, you're eligible, if you're on the double degree program, for a 2-course transfer credit. That means 2 courses that you've completed at UPC in the first year for your master's that are similar in content and number of hours to 2 courses in the master's you intend to pursue at Illinois Tech. If you're awarded the transfer credit of those 2 courses, you don't have to repeat them at Illinois Tech. So this will reduce your 32 credit hours minus 6 credits, 2 courses, to 26 credit hours. So with these 2 categories, if A and B are applied, you would pay $27,000 for the master's degree, rather than $51,000. So that's how there's a reduction in cost. Again, this is based on the current cost. For next year, August 2021, May 2022, there may be a change in costs. We don't know. We will know this by February or March of next year. And I've provided you with the link to look out for the new costs for next year. An example of what the Yes?
Could you repeat the second point in the previous slide? The
Sure.
eligibility for second course? Yeah.
Yes. The transfer credit means, for example, say you're interested in pursuing a master's in power engineering. And say one of the two of the courses that are required in power engineering, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, say they're digital systems or electrodynamics, just for example. See, those are two courses that are among the courses in the Masters of Power Engineering. If you've done past electrodynamics and digital systems in the first year of your master's at UPC, and they're similar in content to the electrodynamics and digital systems at Illinois Tech, and they're worth a minimum of 12 ECTS credits in total. And if you're approved, you will not need to take those two courses in the master's degree at Illinois Tech. We waive them. So that's what we call transfer of credit. So your 32 credit hour master or 30 credit hour masters of power engineering, two of those courses are digital systems and electrodynamics. If you've done them, and if you're approved that if we approve that you have the competencies for those two courses, we will give you transfer credit, means you don't have to repeat them. So that will reduce your credit load from 30 minus 6 to 24 credit hours. Is that clear?
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. So mandatory and other fees, health insurance is a requirement at Illinois Tech. That's for the year. So these are the fees that students from France and Spain, or international students and American students, pay currently for the year. Okay. Course transfer credit related to the earlier question that one of you asked. So how do you choose the courses? This you only do once you qualify for admission to Illinois Tech. You should choose from among elective courses. When you see the master's degree programs that we offer, you will see core courses or required courses, which means they are compulsory, obligatory. And then there are elective courses, and you are given the choice of choosing 2 or 3 from different elective courses based on the specialization you're interested in. So you can choose 2 course equivalents. So as I said, 1 US credit is equal to 2 ECTS. So 1 US course of 3 credits will be equivalent to a minimum of 6 ECTS credits. So if you choose 2 courses, that is 12 ECTS credits minimum. They have to be master level courses. The courses have to be compatible in content and number of hours, and you should have successfully passed them, which means 6.5 out of 10. So, for example, if your courses at UPC are just 2 ECTS credits, you can bundle 3 courses of 2 ECTS credits, that's 6 ECTS credits, that are similar in content and number of hours to 1 US 3 credit hour course. And when you bundle those 3 courses of 2 ECTS credits, your average should be 6.5 out of 10. Okay. I've repeated that, so that hopefully that's clear. So the outcome for the double degree, you get 2 degrees in 1 year, you complete the second year of your master's, and you have the option to work under optional practical training with the F1 student visa for 12 months and extend it for another 24 months. Or you can return to Europe or Spain and find a job, or continue for a PhD in the States at another university or at Illinois Tech, or in Europe or elsewhere. So you have many options. With a double degree program, the American degree is well recognized in most parts of the world. So plus with the Spanish degree, it makes you more marketable if you're looking for good job possibilities around the world. So that's the double degree program. What is new is the certificate programs. It's new and not new. New in the sense that we're offering it to our partner schools. Not new as we've always had certificate programs that were mainly for people working in companies who needed to enhance a professional skill. So maybe they weren't so good in certain technologies, and they needed to take courses to enhance the skill in that particular area. So they could choose to take a certificate program offered by our university. So we still have this available for companies. They're online, they're only offered online, and they're only graduate level. That means master's level. It's not a degree program, it's non-degree. So these are for students, as I said, who work in companies and who are studying part-time, working full-time. It can also be available for students like you who may be interested in the double degree program. How? You may take one course from a certificate program that may apply to a master's degree program you're interested in at Illinois Tech. To use the example I used earlier, if you're interested in the Masters of Power Engineering double degree program, and if there's a certificate program in power engineering, you may choose one of those courses that are also offered in the Master of Power Engineering and take that course online before you arrive at a discounted cost of 50%. Okay. So again, all the certificate programs are only offered online. So you may take one or two courses that may transfer to your specific master's degree program that you're interested in as part of the double degree, okay? And it would be at a 50% discount, so it could reduce your cost a little bit more. Examples of the certificate programs that we offer are like cyber security management, certificate in data management, power electronics, cybersecurity engineering. We have a master's in cybersecurity engineering, supply chain management. We have a master's in industrial technology and management, where supply chain management is a part of it. So those from industrialists may be interested in taking one course from the certificate program that could apply to the master's in industrial technology and management, and so on. So I provided here the links for you to and your professors to take a look at the programs and which courses might work well for you to take if you wish to take. You're not forced to do so. It's just another option to get a taste of what how our lectures and our courses are before you come for the double degree program. Okay. It is offered at a 50% discount. So for example, our certificate programs in its entirety are either 9 credits, meaning 3 courses, or 4 courses. This is the actual cost, and a 50% discount would be, of course, half that cost. Okay. If you decide to take 1 course or 2 courses from the certificate program, each course will be offered at a 50% discount. Again, this is based on this year's cost. Finally, for those of you who are interested in having some kind of experience in the US, but don't want the double degree program. It may be too much of a financial sacrifice for you, and it's too much for you to manage, perhaps emotionally, psychologically, etc. But you still want that experience in the US. You can do your trabajo fin de masters, your research project at Illinois Tech in a lab with a professor. Again, you have to be pre-selected by your school. The deadlines are different. For example, if you want to come in spring, in February of next year, the deadline was passed 15th of October. Or if you want to come in September of next year, the deadline is April 1st. You can pursue your research for 6 months. You have to show proof of English, intermediate level. You don't need to pass the Toefl. Your professor of English can write a letter certifying if you have an intermediate level of English or not. No other exams are needed. You will not take any courses. However, if you come for 6 months, there's a registration fee of 3 credit hours that you'll have to pay. If you only want to come for the summer, this mainly applies to the French students who have to do some research, a stage d'été for 3 months, then there's no charge. Okay? Do not contact the professors directly. I will provide you with the research institutes, but don't contact the professors directly because they're not involved with the application process. Here are some research centers that you may take a look at, and if you're interested, you should inform the person at your school who's in charge of outgoing students, and they have to pre-select you. They will send me your names, and then I will write to you about the application process. The visa type for research is the J1 visa, so it's completely different. If there are students from ETSAM from the School of Architecture, ETSAB from the School of Architecture at UPC, we have an undergraduate non-degree visiting or exchange program. This is completely different from the double degree program. The deadline is also April 15th. You have to pass the Toefl, have a score of 80 or 6.5. This is only for undergraduates and only exclusively for the students from the School of Architecture. The visa type is J1, and there's only 1 exchange spot available per year. I provided the students, I don't know if there are any students from ETSAB at this presentation, but I provided you with the cost and mandatory and other fees. So if you have questions, you can ask me the questions at the end of this presentation, which will end soon. Testimonials, we have a testimonial from a student from Industriales Politécnica de Madrid, who completed his master's degree in mechanical engineering, graduated in 2008 when there was the big financial crash. He managed to find a job nonetheless, and of course his salary was a little lower because of the financial crash. But see, by his 3rd year and 4th year, he was able to get $75,000. His salary increased each year, and several H-1Bs means at the time, 2008, OPT was only for 12 months. They did not have the possibility of extending it for 2 years under the STEM category. So you're fortunate that now you have that opportunity. So when he finished his OPT for 12 months at that time, the companies had to sponsor him for a work visa called the H-1B. And so each time he changed companies, each company had to apply for a new work visa. And then he received his US green card. And currently he's a strategy manager at Motorola, the Lenovo group of Motorola. He said he also had to borrow money to fund his education at Illinois Tech. And he said it was worth attending Illinois Tech. It was worth the cost, good return on investment. He was able to reimburse his loan. And would you recommend this experience to others? He said the job market is very competitive. You need to be able to differentiate yourself. Studying in the USA gives you that differentiation. He's created a professional group, Profesionales Españoles in Chicago. He founded this group, which is very nice of him, and he organizes brown bag lunches and networking opportunities for Spanish students in Chicago if they're looking for jobs and want to be put in contact with companies. So it's a very good group and it works very well. Finally, if you're ready to start your journey in Chicago at Illinois Tech, I will make this, I think Maria Eugenia will make this presentation available to you, and you can contact me at europe@iit.edu. So now I'm ready for your questions. Any questions?
Hello, how are you?
Yes.
How are you?
Yes,
And
hello there.
thank you. Your program was so great. I have a question about international student. I'm originally from Iran, but at this time I study in UPC University. Is it possible to change my direction after graduation to this university? Is it possible or not? This program is just for international students? For Spanish student?
No, this program is for any student of UPC.
Oh, that's great. But as you know, unfortunately, I miss half of the class, half of this meeting because I was in hurry, and these days I have lots of duties. I have to do that because when somebody changes their home location, that's so horrible for that person to manage all of the duties. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You can always send me, if you have additional questions, you can send me your questions to my email, europe@iit.edu. If you're a student, if you're currently a student at UPC, and if you're interested in the double degree program, which school are you from?
Which country from?
No, which school?
Which
within UPC?
EETech in telecommunication.
Okay, then you need to speak to Jose and the vice dean and let him know that you're interested in the double degree program, and then he can work with you what master's program that would suit you best for under the double degree, and then he will tell you about the selection process for his school, and if you're selected, he will send me your name, and then I will contact you regarding the application process for Illinois Tech.
Okay, that's great. Could I have a request from? Could you share your email here in chat box?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Any other question? Hello, Lucas. No other questions? If you wish to know how we are managing with COVID, right now, when COVID hit all of us in March, everybody was scrambling to do everything, but fortunately, we already had most of our courses online anyway, so it was not difficult for us to shift to the online mode. And for students for fall, many of the students who applied were expecting to come in person to the campus, but because of COVID and restrictions everywhere, some of them could not come. So some of them chose to pursue their fall 2020 courses online, and some of them chose to come to campus. So we have about 50% reduction in terms of number of students on campus. which is good because then we can respect the social distancing. The students who are following the courses online tell me that it's from France and Spain, some of them are in Bolivia and other countries. They say that it's fine, it hasn't been a problem, and they're liking their courses. For the students who are on campus, living on campus, some are living in the city, they said they are managing fine. What we did do is that for the first 2 weeks when the students came to our campus in August, we made sure that all the students present would shift to online mode so that they could quarantine for 14 days. And then we made sure that all the students and the staff were tested for the first 2 weeks. Once everybody was tested, then the students who were present on campus in August could shift to, attending classes, in-person classes. Also, per the United States immigration requirements, any U.S. university every U.S. university has to offer at least a combination of in-person and online courses. They cannot offer just online courses. So students who decided to come to Chicago and to Illinois Tech have to have a combination of in-person and online, a mixture of two, what we call the hybrid version. And every 2 weeks during this semester, our students are randomly tested. We have a little truck or a testing truck that goes around campus and randomly selects, it's a saliva test, randomly selects 200 people and tests them to see if there's any COVID. So far, the number of COVID cases have not gone more than above 1%. It's just remained at 1%. So the good thing is that we've managed to control the explosion of cases. Also, we have reserved rooms at a nearby hotel. So for students coming next spring, they can quarantine at the Hilton Hotel, which is next to our campus, for 7 days. So the requirement for those students who are coming to Illinois Tech next spring in January, they have to have a negative proof of a negative test, COVID-19 test, at least 72 hours before they board their flight. And then they have to quarantine for 7 to 10 days at the nearby Hilton Hotel, and then come to campus if they're living in on-campus housing for courses. So that's how we're managing it. For those students who are not living in on-campus, living in the city, they have to quarantine themselves for 7 to 10 days if they have the negative test, proof of the negative test. So that's how we're managing the COVID situation. Any questions from the schools or about the certificate program or the 1+1 program? No? All right, so if there are no questions, and if you think of questions later, please, you have my email address and you can send me your questions later. So I think I will end this presentation